me, Earl of the Logbook.com, back in a field of infinite sheep, and we're kind of fast forwarding a bit because it's November as this video is dropping, and so it's time to remember some November sweeps insanity, particularly from years spent doing TV news promos, which, I spent a long time doing entertainment promo and then kind of moved into doing news promo. Do I have a preference? Yes, I definitely liked doing entertainment promo better. I can sell people on a show. I have a much harder time selling people on news stories that honestly may or may not be complete BS. The promo that we're going to look at today is from November 2003. If I remember correctly, this was the kickoff for November Sweeps 2003. Now, by the way, there are some frequent common misconceptions about rating sweeps that I feel need to be cleared up first. First off, people talk about there being sweeps week. Oh, no, babes. It's a whole month. Every time. November, February, May, July. July is less critical. February is slightly less critical, but it's November and May that are kind of the Super Bowl and the All-Star game for local television rated by Nielsen. The viewer numbers that you get from November and May in particular allow you to set your advertising prices accordingly. Hey, we are reaching X number of people. That means you should pay us Y to run a spot in our most popular programming. That's really what is at stake with sweeps. It's gathering that audience data and letting that be the driver on setting ad prices. That's really it. The fact that you get out of that ostensibly what the most popular shows are, that's actually more of a side effect than the whole point of the thing. The real reasoning behind your Nielsen ratings for over-the-air broadcast is to set the ad prices. And I am not sure what price I would have put on some of our news promos, because part of this is you also heavily promote special reports in your newscasts during these months, because that drives people toward the newscasts. So you get really, it's about skewing the numbers. It's about skewing the numbers. Oh, look at us. We've got this. You have to tune in for that. So it's not sweeps week. It's sweeps month. And there are several sweeps months. And they're usually pretty exhausting. Especially in the news business. Now, I worked at Channel 40 between... It was kind of a suspiciously clean-cut period of time, literally from January of 2000 to December of 2006 in promotions, where I was a promotions writer, producer. I had to come up with the scripts, I had to come up with the concept, had to execute the concept. So it wasn't like I wrote the script and handed it off to someone else to be edited. It was all on me. And I really liked that job, but I liked that job better in the entertainment sector than in the news sector by miles. And the spot I'm about to show you is a good example of why. Let's see the spot first, and then I'll tell you the weird story behind this.
They've worked on Air Force One, the space shuttle, the B-2 stealth bomber. They have the highest security clearance, and their personal and confidential information was found in a hometown dumpster. How did it happen? Thursday on your Hometown News at 10.
How did it happen? Yeah, you always leave it with a question because you're trying to, you want the rest of that. You've got to actually tune in at 10. Okay, so about that spot, that was a last-minute replacement. That was an absolute last-minute replacement, and I could tell you right now that it came together so late in the day that I had already done a promo for a different story for the first night of November Sweeps. There was a completely different story planned, and then this fell into our laps, and it was like, oh, that's much better. That's much better. Let's go with that instead. If I remember correctly, the original story was about ear candling, which is some sort of kind of alternative medical practice. And it was a really weak sauce opener for November Sweeps, and everyone in the newsroom knew it. And then this kind of dropped in our laps, and everyone was much more enthusiastic about doing this, but it happened so late that they were literally out conducting the interviews, gathering the information for this while I was working on the promo. So there was no footage in-house, and during this time period at Channel 40, this frequently happened. It's like, here is what the story is going to be. We have no footage yet. Somehow make a 15 or 30-second spot happen out of thin air, out of whole cloth. No footage. There's nothing in the can. And so what you saw there was a desperate trawl through AP Graphics Bank, which was the Associated Press stock photography and stock graphic design repository to which our station was subscribed. And so the photos and the outlines, the blueprint style outlines of everything came from that source. And it was definitely a desperate get this done at the last minute thing. And I don't remember if the weird alternative medicine story even ran, but if it did, it was no longer the focus of the first night of Sweeps. Thank goodness. Unfortunately, my pulling that off kind of led to a long string of news promos for Channel 40, particularly in Sweeps, that were absolutely free of any actual footage. I unfortunately kind of earned a reputation as someone who could cook up a whole spot out of nothing. And the problem is, I think after a while to the viewer at home, what that actually reveals is, okay, we don't have anything going into this yet. Please watch us anyway. So I wonder if that was really a skill to lean on as heavily as I wound up having to do.